It's summary of the Maamar so far. So, first of all, why balilah Hahu? Just say balilah. We know which night it's talking about, obviously. It's the night that the events that took place are being described. So, he brings the word from Frierdiker Rebbe, quotes from the Maril, that the Balkera by balilah Hu should raise his voice. Why? Because that is Iker Hanes, or the Lashon later, Iker Tekfish Hanes. The Chayra, why is this the Iker Nes? That the king's sleep was disturbed? Because the Pnimius Yonim, the Melech is Malkish Alaylam, and Yidden were in a matzav of Shina, and therefore there's a matzav of Shina sleeping the Maila, and that's the Nes that even in such a matzav was not a Doshnas Melech. And that explains another diuk. Balilah Hahu, I'm sorry, this answers why it says Balilah Hahu. Because Hahu is Lashon Nister, third person, which means that the person we speak about is not present. So we have the pasuk Laila Hahu two times. This is a helem on top of helem. Haster Aster, as the Baal Shem Tov taught, what's the pshat? That the Hester is in such a matzav that don't even realize it's a Hester. Samim Cheshach Laor. So that's the diuk. Balaylo Stam Hester Hahu, Haster Aster. And that explains that the even of the nest even greater, that in such a matzav was not a Dashnas Melech. So after his base, yeah. Namshir b'amayim l'zish b'layla who not a Dashnas Melech Balkish Oilam. So he explains there the Maimah. This is Maimah based on the Frierdiker Rebbe, Tafshin. That Balilah who not a Dashnas Melech Balkish Oilam. Iker on nest the Purim, which is the main nest, that even such a Maimah, the matzav of concealment and doubled concealment. There was the Noded Ashnas HaMelech, so how was this affected? Nasa the Hamstis Nefesh, the Yisrael of Meshach Kol Hashem. This is a Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe. It doesn't say anywhere that we have such a Medrash, at least, that Yidden were in a state of Mesiras Nefesh a whole year, and they had a choice that had they opted out, they would have been spared. Anybody who opted out would have been spared. Nobody did. It says in Hora 16, see there in the Maimah Tafshin Daled Mem, Peshon Bisman, there it gives the arichas that there's no actual source for this. Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe. But Tzorich Lahavi, not a Bisman, so what's the shayla now? So we just said that this happened because of the Mesiras Nefesh of Yidden. So now the question is, Bisman, she's so laced in the Shem. So if Yidden are doing Hashem's will, then Hashem's response, even mitzad seder shtalshus, means even mitzad bezdin shemayla, even mitzad poshet cheshbon, Hashem responds in kind, and he sleeps, neither slumbers nor sleeps. So what's the nes here? It was earned, deserved. Since Eden were in a mind of the matzah for a whole year, mind you, not just for a moment, which is a lot easier, but a sustained Mesiras Nefesh, anytime anybody that renounces his Judaism would be spared, and nobody did, not one. The Ma'an Nest, what is the miracle? Moreover, I'm sorry. Takeif on this. What's the takeif on this? That this is the whole force and thrust of the miracle.
Rabbi, sorry to interrupt. Rabbi, sorry to interrupt. But apparently, a few of the hostages were told the same thing. That if they converted to Islam, they'd be spared.
I heard one. You're telling me it's more than one now?
Apparently, that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Mercedes Nefesh. What does David want to move over? Right. Yeah. So let's look at order 19. Because he divides the question, doesn't divide the question, there's two layers to the question. First, he says, what's the miracle? If you deserved it. And moreover, takeif on this. That this would be the whole thrust and the whole force, the whole emphasis of the miracle of Purim. What does he mean by this added level emphasis in the question? Let's see order 19. But again, on this, so in general, we could justify this. Why? The general miracle. The fact that even after the miracle, Yidden was still in Golas. And the Gemara says, we are still servants of Hashverosh, which is one of the reasons we don't say Hallel on Purim, because it wasn't a complete redemption. Muchach, so the fact is that even after the miracle, he still remained in Golos. We must therefore perforce conclude, Shegam Lachrei Shom de Mesiras Nefesh. So Taka, there was Mesiras Nefesh. I mean, the Pintele Yid, I'm still a Jew, but still, they were still in a spiritual state of sleeping. In other words, it didn't translate necessarily in observance fully. There was no one was going to deny their Jewishness. That's Taka, great and wonderful. But it's still a state of spiritual sleep because it didn't translate, it didn't fully wake up. So therefore we can say, we can answer the question that it's still a miracle. We're going to thank God for it. The Noda Dashnas HaMelech, because it wasn't fully deserved, because you didn't fully wake up. So that we could answer. Why we call it a Nes. Aval, the Teikvish Nes is going to be the question. Let's say I didn't start yet, learning it together. But the question persists still in terms of the Teikvish Nes. Why? Because since the sleep that they had, so when had Mesiras Nefesh, so we're saying, we're acknowledging that they did wake up, but they didn't wake up completely. So the Shnas HaMelech,
no, I'm not sure it's about the waking up. The sleep.
Let's finish the order. But they didn't. They awoke from their sleep, but not entirely. So nested. Not that the Shnas HaMelech ain't a pele kol kach. So the kash is not that it's a miracle. The shaila is that it's not such a wonder. So the shaila is. Let me explain what he's answering. Just want to see the start, the bottom. Balilah, ההוא. Okay, we'll get that in a second. So his answer is like this. The question is that since Yidden woke up, since Yidden are in a state of Mesiras Nefesh, why is it a miracle to say that balilah, ההוא, that night the king's sleep was disturbed? And the Maril says you raise your voice because that's teikvish, and that's the whole essence of the miracle. They're the force, the thrust of the miracle. Shailis is asking the Maimon now, it was deserved. Yidden was with a matzav Mesiras Nefesh. So he answers, yeah, they were a matzav Mesiras Nefesh, but that awakening did not translate in Pearl Mamash, a complete awakening. They weren't completely awake. As they weren't completely awake, God in response is also still sleeping. And therefore the Nes, not the Shnas HaMelech. So we don't have a question then. We don't have a question that surely this is deserved. Not the Shnas HaMelech. Well, it's because it's not really deserved fully. Taka Mesiras Nefesh. In other words, I am a Jew, but it didn't translate as I'm going to behave as a Jew. still fell short of the mark. Therefore, it's a nes that even though Yidden didn't fully wake up, God did fully wake up. So therefore, we can answer, yeah, it's still a nes that not a Shnas Melech. It doesn't answer Teikvish nes. Teikvish nes means the whole force of the miracle, as if to say, well, this is absolutely stunning and amazing. No, it's not so amazing. There wasn't Metzilas Nefesh. In a Pelakol Kach. It's not such an amazing thing to say that Teikvish nes, the whole, Teikvish means the force, the emphasis of the miracle. The whole force, the power of the miracle. No, it's not such a Pella. If you say the word Teikvish nes, we'd be totally astounded. Why would the king, Hashem's sleep be disturbed? It isn't completely not understood to say that it's an amazing miracle. In other words, Teikvish nes means an amazing miracle. It's not an amazing miracle. There wasn't Metzilas Nefesh. To say that it was a miracle, meaning to say it wasn't fully, Hashem's awakening is not fully justified because he didn't wake up all the way. They acknowledged the Jewish, they didn't really change their behavior after that. As they should have completely, no. So we can say there's a divine grace. But to say it's amazing, Teikvish nes, that's so amazing. He didn't Metzilas Nefesh. That's the explanation of the Ha'ara that explains the question. Are we clear?
I thought the Ha'ara is saying, well, they weren't really in such a deep sleep.
That's what I'm just saying, though. That's why it's not Teikvish nes. It's a nes, but not Teikvish nes. It's a miracle, but not an amazing miracle that Hashem wakes up. It's a miracle down because they didn't wake up all the way, and yet Hashem does wake up all the way. It's not an amazing miracle since there was Metzilas Nefesh. That's what he's asking. Teikvish nes. Besides the fact that it doesn't start at the bottom, Gam in the Balilah Hahu. It's saying that the start at the bottom is saying this. If it just said Balilah, Yidden were in a matzav of sleep, they didn't fully wake up, good. They taka didn't. Then, but the Laila Hu means a double darkness when Yidden have Metzilas Nefesh. Surely it's not Balilah Hahu. Balilah, yeah, but not Balilah Hahu. Understand? So the whole shadow of the Ha'ara is, but wait, the shadow of the Maimah is why we're calling this a miracle. It was earned. The Ha'ara says it wasn't earned really fully. So it's still somewhat of a miracle, but the Ha'ara makes the point it's not an amazing miracle, and it certainly doesn't explain how we could describe, how the pasuk could describe that matzav of Yidden, of Balilah Hu, a redoubled darkness when they have Metzilas Nefesh. So some level of darkness, yes, they didn't become, didn't start putting a Benetam's film. Didn't translate all, that way. They embraced their Jewishness, but it didn't fully translate. They're still somewhat sleeping. But it's not Balilah Hahu. It's not a darkness on top of darkness. So the question remains. Are we clear? Friends, everybody else on the Zoom, I need a response.
Yes.
Okay. Morty, are you there? Adam, are you there, or is this your picture?
Yeah, I'm in the car on the way to show.
You're there. Okay. Right, let's go further. Right, we're just by the number 19. We also have to understand the Pirish Balilah not the Shas Melech shooting. Another question. What's a simple story here? That night the king sleep was disturbed. So Freud Achashverosh, who Shadvarim She'ir Balilah who. So the story over there is that what happened that night, it caused the king to have a disturbed sleep. What happened that night? Look at number 20 out of 20. I have to look it up fully, but see Rashi, he's lying in bed, tossing and turning. He's suspicious of this Haman. And here Esther goes and invites him to a meal. Something smells off here. What's going on? What's going on between Esther and Haman? Why is he being singled out? So these are the events that cause the king's sleep to be disturbed. And there's the story being safe as Zechariah, and the realized that Mordechai was never rewarded, and the story flows from there. But let's continue the Maimer. So that's the physical story. Now, that which is known, what happens down here is a reflection of what happens up Lamaila. Movements understood, the Kemoikin, likewise Baruchnis. This, that Hashem's sleep is disturbed, means the same thing like it happened here. The Balilah, the events of that night, the king is tossing and turning, whatever, over, he's being disturbed. Who should God at least not at the Shasam? That's what caused the king's sleep, Lamaila, to be disturbed. So the question now is, in the story, there's nothing positive. The Rebbe says it's not in the storyline itself. You read the Megillah, Balilah, who is pure matzav of terrible matzav. Hadilayla, who made al held the behest of the explained before, Laila means night, and who, third person, means nister, concealment. Heipecha inyan shalayla hu, maybe she nodded on shnasamelch malka shalayla. It's the opposite of that night disturbed the king's sleep. At the simple story, why that night? Because that night the king was disturbed, thinking about the events that had just happened, Esther and Mordechai, what's going on? So in the story, here's the question. Laila Hahu, that night, is why the king's sleep was disturbed, because of the events that just occurred previously. But Bepnimius, Laila Hahu means concealment and darkness. The concealment and the darkness is what causes David's sleep to be disturbed. The opposite. That's that Laila and who is that's describing God's the divine sleep, the celestial sleep. How does it fit with the Pashta Sinyon? The Pashta Sinyon Balilah, that night was special. The king couldn't sleep because things had been going on in the palace. But the Maila, Baruch Nistri says Laila is Choshech, and who is up at the Choshech. That causes not the Shnas HaMelech. Doesn't fit with the story. That's a reason for the king to sleep in greater slumber, not to wake up. Laila and who? Questions clear, friends? Yes? Arya? Guys, need response.
Yes. So what is Laila who? Maybe the king is so disturbed that there's such a choshech.
We're not asking you to answer the question.
Okay.
That's not an answer either, because Ge'ebishter responds. We'll see what the Maimon says. But in Pashtus, he responds to our behavior. Yidden were in a state of sleep. And he explained to the order, notwithstanding the Mesiras Nefesh, it still didn't translate in a transformative life. And therefore the Maila is in a state of sleep. So the Shaila here is, Balailo means Choshech. How does that cause the king to wake up? In the story, we understand, because he was disturbed by the intrigues of the palace. It's Beruchnis, what intrigues? What? All right, fans. Now deep dive. I learned this yesterday in the hummel tumble of the wedding, so let's do it together. You can see it's a hemshech, friends, to
four. No, there's going to be after this 3 or 4 Maimarim that are a hemshech to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, certainly
3 for sure, maybe 4.
Yeah, didn't see. Okay. There was a second Maimer, Kein Sich, at the end of the Fabrenga, a second Maimer. Let's try to do it before Purim. Yuvan ze behektem, friends, okay, here goes. Purim. Understand, we're first prefacing what it says in Drushi Purim. Baruch B'drush Admor Emtzoi. And at length in the mind of the Admittel Rebbe on Purim, Yoim. So Yoim means Giloi. Balilah, of course, night Helim is concealment. Says the Mittel Rebbe and the Alter Rebbe, B'chol Echad Mehem Yeshnei Hoinyonim Id Giloi B'Helim. Let's sink in. In both Yoim and in both Laila, each one of them respectively is a matzav of revelation and concealment. So there's revelation of Yoim and concealment of Yoim. There's revelation of Laila and concealment of Laila. What does this mean? How do we associate concealment with Yoim, and how do we associate revelation with Laila? Yoim means revelation, Laila means night, concealment. So what does this mean? So we're going to see. First of all, that is why he's going to contrast the words ze, this, and who. Ze, when you say this, it's right in front of you. Ze kelev yanveyu. The words of the Gemara, Mara be'etzba b'imazeh. So immediate that you can point to the finger and you can say this. That's when you say the word this, when it's immediate and revealed. Who, as we said, is third person, him. Talking about somebody, but he's not present, not revealed. So we find, explains the Mittel Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe, Shelapomim Ksiv, sometimes by the word Yoim, which overall means revelation, we find in Pasuk the expression Yom Hazeh. No, so the Zeh Meir al Giloi, Zeh means revelation. And yet, Ulafomim Ksiv, Hayom Hahu, that day. Oh, so we're talking about the Inyan Shel Giloi, but at the same time it's concealed. The Inyan is Giloi, but that Giloi is concealed. Yom Hazeh means the revelation is revealed. Yom Hahu means the revelation. It's an Inyan of the revelation, but it's currently concealed. The who, Meir al Helim, as we said, who, third person, that, as opposed to this, that thing, that experience, that matzav is not revealed currently. And the same is true of Laila. V'chein b'Laila lef'omim ksiv Laila hazeh, halayla hazeh, halayla hazeh. Sometimes it says this night. Ulepomim ksiv Laila hu, that night. So the concealment is in this. Laila Zem means the concealment is revealed. We see that it's concealment. Pashut. Laila Hu means you don't even see that it's concealment. I'm just laughing. I'm going to throw this in. And Hashem will forgive me if it's inappropriate, but I don't think it is. Upon him, there was a legendary chassid named Gershom Mendel Garelek. I remember Fabrengen is Dalef Nissen after the Rebbe's Fabrengen, so oft times we Fabrengen till the morning, then he got on the bus, flew back, whatever it was. And Gershom Mendel in 770s, the Fabrengen wasn't a lot of people. His Fabrengens, he was a unique chassid, and maybe one day they write a book on him. But just to give you an idea about
he was in yesterday's gem.
He was yesterday's gem, I didn't see it. Okay, so you see him, he was very charismatic. Fellows from the first shluchim. He went on the shlichus in Tafshin Chai. Him, who went first, him or Beryl?
The higher Beryl is a little, I think so, he's a little older.
But same year, 1958. So Beryl Shem Tov went to the middle of Shel Brachas on shlichus to Detroit, and he picked up with his American wife Posner and went to Italy. Russian boy. They were spoken about by Fabrengen and Meredith things. He was the pioneers of shlichus, and he was a legendary fellow and a hero and very entertaining guy. His Fabrengens were unique, friends. I want you to just appreciate this. Just imagine this. This is 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Moishe, Yudalef Nissen at night. Everybody's going back the next morning on planes to the various places. And this is Gershom Mendel standing and just saying over and over again, Baal, halayla hazeh, halayla hazeh. That's it. Saying it over and over again. Halayla hazeh, with tears streaming down his cheeks, with a big smile on his face. Halayla hazeh, halayla hazeh. This night. Dalaf Nissen. You have to appreciate what this means, friends. You never experienced such a thing, but I think you get a sense of it. And this, what's he saying? Big insight, story, inspiration, nothing. The chassid is standing there. He's often, get up, stand there, and just sing over and over again. Halayla hazeh, halayla hazeh. So, just for me personally, by the Seder, when we sing together, halayla, we sing with the kids, the manishtana. That's the image that it invokes. With Aleph Nissen, B'Geshem Mendel. He'd be smiling, tears streaming down his cheeks, and singing halayla hazeh, halayla hazeh. So, what did we just say now? I said, there is the inyan of what? Of Zeh and Hu, both for Yom and for Laila. Sometimes we say Yom HaZeh, sometimes we say Yom HaHu, meaning we're talking about revelation. It's present, or the revelation is distant. It's concealed currently. Then there's Laila also. Laila Hazeh means that we see the concealment. It's not a secret. And Laila Hu means that the concealment is concealed. Let's see inside it. That's the pshat. So what does it mean that both by Laila and by Yom there's the two different matzavim of Zeh, two different states of Zeh and Hu? So it's explained in my modern dachiluk bein Yom b'Laila Hu b'hem b'atzma. First of all, the difference between night and day is the thing itself. What are we talking about? The Yom Hu b'Laila Hu cheshach. Oir is revelation, and night is darkness. K'mesha Kosov, near Pasuk. Vayikra likim la'oir yom la'cheshach kara laila. The Eibishter called day, light day, and darkness he called laila. Good. So we see that inyan of day is oir and laila is cheshach. That's in and of themselves. That's one basic difference between the two. But for oir chiluk, but it's not the distinction. But oifen hayon v'alayla. Oifen means the state of this revelation or concealment. And each one can be in either of these two states. Imhem ba'oifen shel gilui are the respective oir and choshech in a state of revelation, or ba'oifen shel helem or in a way of concealment. The Loshen Zeh b'negir l'yom b'layla, when you say Zeh in association with both of them, each of them, Moire means al hayom v'alayla k'moshim shcholamata b'gilui. If we say Zeh, we say down here it's in a state of revelation, or down here it's in a state of darkness. Perceived darkness, perceived revelation, or perceived experienced revelation or experienced darkness. That's if we use the word Zeh by each of them. Both mean down here, and it's experience. What's experience? Either we're talking about Yom Hazeh means revelation is experienced down here. Laila Hazeh means that we see that this down here that's a matzav of cheshach. The Loshen Hu, but if we use the word Hu, the pasuk uses the word Hu, it's describing different matzav. So then you have Hu. So if we say the word Hu on Yom v'Layla, we're talking about the way it is in essence, not revealed to us. Who? That. There is revelation, there is concealment. We're not experiencing it. Before it's revealed. Well, if we use the word who even higher, not just before it's revealed, we're referring to Yom and Belilah, as they are on their source. I don't know if it means this, but right? God's power of revelation, God's power of concealment in its source. That's what who means. There, that.
Yechaylis.
Huh?
Yechaylis.
Yeah. But it's in the source, not revealed. Could be revealed, but not to us. Atzilis, whatever, it's all relative, but not to us. Sholish is a relative term, but all the way back to Yechaylis. Okay. So let's keep on going. It's already. So now, okay, let's just repeat this straight again. When we say the word zeh in connection with either Yom or Laila, we're talking about experience down here. When we say who, as the description is the adjective for either Yom or Laila, we're talking about the way it is in its source, not the way we're experiencing it. There's Giloi and there's Helem in the source. I'm suggesting God's infinite power, God's finite power. Now, what happened by Yitzias Mitzrayim? That's on the essence of this day, Yotzu called Tzivus Havayim Eretz Mitzrayim. The hosts of God left Egypt because what happened? Open miracles revealed. Likewise, Torah mitzvahs, as we have them now, as opposed to when Mashiach will come. We'll revisit Order 28 tomorrow. Ksiv, what is about Torah mitzvahs? Hayoyim hazeh, the pasuk says in Parshas Kisovei, on this day, zeh Hashem lekecha mitzav Hashem commands you, etc. Oh, so Yitzias Mitzrayim, as we experienced that, and Matan Torah is revelation. But Begula Hasidah Ksiv, but the final redemption, the pasuk says of Omar Bayom Hahu. I wonder, that's the part you talk about for Godel? It could be. That's Gershon Mendel's song. He would also sing. In fact, he sang at his funeral. No, it's not. No, that's not even possible. Okay. So it's about redemption. It uses that because the revelation is going to happen then is not current. We haven't had it. As opposed to Yitzias Mitzrayim experience, Matan Torah experience. What we experienced by Yitzias Mitzrayim, we experienced the revelation down here. But the revelation, Mashiach will come, we have not had yet. That's yet to come. It's going to be such a revelation as it is in its source. That's what who means, there in its source. There, ultimate source, the essence of the earth. It's bound up with Atzmos, the essence of revelation, higher than revelation. You know what these terms mean a little bit, right? Yom Hahu, that day will be revealed the Etzimoi. So right now, it's much higher. Hahu means, in contrast to the way we've just been explaining it till now, terrible concealment, but it's not really a contradiction because it's lost on us now, it's concealed from us. We're in the dark. We're in the dark in terms of experiencing that revelation. Then it'll be revealed, but right now it's not. Right now it's cool for us. It's there. This is what I spoke similarly for you with those who are in shul. You say this from the later, that there's there. Why does you use the word there? Because the revelation is still concealed ultimately. Shom goes in Atzmos. That's like a Yom Hahu. The Motzei edition is still who? Still concealed. And his full revelation will be Mashiach. Okay, friends, so we'll continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow in person and on Zoom. A wonderful day. Sudas Toivus.